Is that all your power?
At first, no one noticed anything was wrong. Goku was still smiling, still training, still laughing like nothing in the world could ever weigh him down. But deep inside him, something had shifted. Something quiet, something dangerous. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It was more like a growing emptiness, a question he could no longer ignore. Why do I keep holding back? For years, Goku had fought for Earth. He had pushed his limits, broken them, and rebuilt himself stronger every time. But every battle ended the same way, him stopping just short of his full potential. Protecting, sparing, holding back for the sake of others. That used to feel right. Now it felt like chains. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Goku stood alone on a distant mountain. The wind brushed past him, but he didn't move. His eyes were fixed on the sky, distant and cold. I wonder, he muttered to himself, clenching his fist slightly. What would happen if I didn't stop? That question should have scared him, but instead, it excited him. The first sign came during a sparring match with Vegeta. It started like any other fight. The two Saiyans clashed, their energy shaking the ground beneath them. Vegeta smirked, pushing forward with his usual pride. Don't tell me you're getting soft, Kakarot. Goku didn't respond. His face was calm, too calm. They exchanged blows faster and faster, the air cracking around them. But something was different. Goku wasn't smiling anymore. There was no joy in his movements, no playful energy, only focus, only hunger. Vegeta noticed it first. What's wrong with you? Still no answer. Then in a single moment everything changed. Goku disappeared. Before Vegeta could react, a crushing force slammed into his back, sending him crashing into the ground. The impact split the earth beneath him. Vegeta struggled to stand, shocked. Kakarot. Goku hovered above him, his aura flaring, but it wasn't the usual bright, warm energy. It felt heavy, cold. I've been thinking, Goku said quietly. All this time? We've been fighting with limits, rules, mercy. Vegeta narrowed his eyes. That's called control, you idiot. Goku shook his head slowly. No, it's weakness. That word hit harder than any punch. Before Vegeta could respond, Goku attacked again, this time without restraint. The blows came faster, heavier, relentless. Vegeta fought back, but it was clear. This wasn't the same Goku. There was no hesitation, no holding back. For the first time in a long time, Vegeta felt overwhelmed. And then, Goku stopped. He stood there looking down at his hands as if realizing something. This is it, he whispered. A slow smile spread across his face, not the usual cheerful grin, something darker. News spread quickly. Goku had defeated Vegeta easily. At first, the others didn't believe it, but when Vegeta returned, injured, silent, and furious, they knew something was wrong. He's changed, Vegeta said coldly. That fool. He's not fighting like a warrior anymore. Then what is he doing? Bulma asked, her voice uneasy. Vegeta looked away for a moment before answering. He's fighting like someone who has nothing left to protect. Gohan was the first to go looking for him. He found Goku in a deserted valley, standing in the center of a massive crater. The ground was scorched, the air heavy with energy. Dad? Gohan called out, cautiously stepping forward. Goku turned slowly. For a brief moment, everything felt normal again. Hey, Gohan? That voice. It was still his father's. Relief washed over Gohan. Everyone's worried about you. What's going on? Goku didn't answer right away. He looked around the destroyed landscape, then back at his son. Do you ever feel it? He asked. Feel what? That there's more? Goku's eyes sharpened. More power, more to become. But we keep stopping ourselves, because we're afraid of what it might cost. Gohan frowned. That's not fear, that's responsibility. Goku's expression darkened slightly. Responsibility, he repeated. Or limitation? Gohan stepped closer, his voice firm now. Dad, this isn't you. For a moment, silence filled the air. Then Goku sighed. Maybe this is the real me. Before Gohan could react, a sudden burst of energy exploded from Goku, forcing him back. The sheer pressure made it hard to breathe. I've spent my whole life protecting this planet, Goku continued, his voice calm but cold. But what has it given me? Gohan stared at him in disbelief. It gave you family, friends, a home. Goku shook his head. It gave me limits. The sky darkened as Goku's aura expanded, crackling with overwhelming power. I'm done holding back. Gohan clenched his fists, fear creeping into his heart. Dad, if you keep going down this path— What? Goku interrupted, his eyes locking onto Gohan's. You'll stop me? That question hung heavy between them. For the first time in his life, Gohan didn't recognize the man standing in front of him. And deep down, he realized something terrifying. This wasn't just a phase. This was the beginning of something much worse. Goku slowly rose into the air, his energy tearing through the sky itself. Let's see what this world looks like, without limits. And in that moment, Earth stopped being a home. It became a battlefield. Gohan stood frozen as the wind howled around him, carrying dust and fragments of broken Earth into the air. His heart pounded in his chest as he watched Goku rise higher and higher, his presence growing heavier with every second. It didn't feel like a father preparing for a fight. It felt like something dangerous waking up. Dad, please, Gohan whispered, but his voice barely reached him. Goku didn't respond. He simply kept ascending until he stopped high above the valley, looking down at everything as if seeing it for the first time, or maybe seeing it as something that no longer mattered. Then without warning, Goku moved. He vanished. Gohan's eyes widened. A split second later, Gohan was thrown backward by a shockwave that shattered the ground beneath him. He hit the dirt hard, rolling across the terrain before stopping against a broken rock formation. Pain surged through his body, but it was nothing compared to the shock. Goku had attacked him. No hesitation. No warning. Gohan struggled to stand, breathing heavily. "Why?" he muttered, staring up at the sky. "Why are you doing this?" Above him, Goku reappeared, hovering calmly. "Because I want to know," Goku said, his voice quiet but firm. "I want to know how strong I can become, without holding anything back." Gohan clenched his fists. "That's not strength. That's selfish." Goku tilted his head slightly. "Selfish," he repeated as if tasting the word. Then unexpectedly he smiled. Maybe. That smile, it wasn't warm. It wasn't kind. It was something else entirely. Something unsettling. But sometimes, Goku continued, his eyes narrowing, selfishness is the only way to reach true power. Gohan's body tensed. "You're not thinking straight." "This isn't you." Goku remained silent for a moment. Then he raised his hand. A small sphere of energy formed in his palm, quiet, controlled, but incredibly dense. Gohan's eyes widened. "Dad, don't." Goku released the attack. The blast tore through the sky, forcing Gohan to leap aside just in time as the ground behind him exploded into a massive crater. The shockwave sent dust and debris flying in every direction. This wasn't training. This wasn't sparring. This was a real attack. Gohan landed hard, skidding across the ground before pushing himself up again. His breathing was uneven now. His father wasn't holding back. Not even a little. Meanwhile, far away, in a place of quiet meditation, Piccolo suddenly opened his eyes. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. His senses sharpened instantly as he stood up, scanning the environment. A disturbance, a massive one, was spreading across the planet, and at the center of it, Goku. Piccolo's expression darkened. Kakarot. Without wasting another second, he launched into the sky. Back in the battlefield, Gohan was barely holding on. Every movement from Goku felt heavier than the last. Faster, more precise, more dangerous. Gohan struggled to keep up, barely avoiding each strike. But it wasn't just physical strength. It was the intent behind the attacks. There was no restraint anymore. No mercy, no hesitation. Gohan blocked a punch, his arm shaking under the force. "You're going to kill me at this rate." Goku paused. Just for a second. That single moment of hesitation gave Gohan hope. But then, Goku leaned in slightly, his voice low. "Then survive." Gohan's eyes widened. Before he could react, Goku's fist connected with devastating force, sending Gohan crashing into the ground with enough power to carve a long trench across the landscape. Silence followed. The wind slowly settled. Dust filled the air. For a moment, nothing moved. Goku landed gently, walking toward the crater where Gohan lay. Step by step, calm, unshaken, unstoppable. As he approached, the ground beneath him cracked slightly under the weight of his presence. The air felt thick now, almost suffocating. Gohan struggled to move. His body ached. His vision blurred. But he forced himself to look up. "Dad," he whispered weakly. Goku stopped just in front of him. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Something familiar. Something human. But it vanished almost instantly. "Stand up," Goku said. Gohan clenched his teeth. "I won't fight you." Goku looked down at him silently. Then he turned slightly as if considering something. "Then you'll lose." And with that, Goku walked away. Far above, clouds began to gather. Not from nature, but from the energy radiating off Goku. His power was no longer just affecting the battlefield. It was affecting the planet itself. And deep in space, something else began to stir. Something that had been watching Earth for a long time. And now, it was interested. The world didn't stay silent for long. News of Goku's actions spread fast, faster than anyone expected. What started as whispers quickly turned into panic. Cities buzzed with fear. People looking up at the sky, wondering when the next Uter would come, and whether the man who once protected them would be the one to destroy them. And somewhere far away, others were already moving. In a quiet place surrounded by dense forest, Vegeta stood still, his arms crossed, his face tense with anger. but also something deeper. Unease. He actually did it. Vegeta muttered under his breath. Kakarot, you idiot. He wasn't just angry. He was unsettled, because if even Goku, the one man who always held back, had abandoned restraint, then what did that mean for the rest of them? What did that mean for the world? Behind him a voice spoke. You felt it too, didn't you? Vegeta didn't turn around. I felt everything, he replied coldly. From the shadows stepped Piccolo. The Namekian looked serious, more serious than usual. Kakarot's power. It's not just increasing, it's changing. He's not fighting like before. Vegeta scoffed slightly. That much is obvious. Piccolo narrowed his eyes. No, you don't understand. He's not just stronger. Vegeta finally looked at him. Explain. Piccolo paused for a moment, choosing his words carefully. He's becoming efficient, calculated, no wasted movement. No hesitation. No emotion interfering with his attacks. That silence between them spoke volumes. Vegeta's expression darkened. So, he stopped being human. Piccolo didn't answer. He didn't need to. At the same time, elsewhere, Gohan struggled to stand. His body trembled as he pushed himself up from the ground, his breathing uneven. His vision still blurred, but his mind was clearer now. Too clear. He had felt it. That moment, when Goku looked at him, not as a son, not even as a person, but as an obstacle. Gohan clenched his fists. I can't just stay down. His voice was quiet, but determined. Blood trickled down his arm as he forced himself upright. If his father was no longer holding back, then neither could he. Back at the battlefield, Goku stood alone. The wind swirled around him, but he remained perfectly still. His eyes were closed now, his breathing calm. Peaceful. Almost too peaceful. Behind him the ground suddenly cracked. Fast, loud, and powerful. Goku didn't move. He simply tilted his head slightly. So you came. From behind him, Vegeta stepped forward, his aura burning with intensity. Don't get too comfortable, Kakarot, Vegeta said, his voice sharp. You've been having your fun. Now it's time to stop this nonsense. Goku opened his eyes slowly. For a moment, there was something familiar in them. Recognition. Then, it was gone. Vegeta, Goku said calmly. Vegeta smirked slightly. Still calling me by name? Good. Means you haven't completely lost your mind. Goku turned to face him. I've lost nothing. That answer hit harder than expected. Vegeta's smirk faded. Then what do you call this? Vegeta snapped. Attacking your own son? Destroying everything you're supposed to protect? Goku was silent for a moment. Then he answered. Evolution. The word hung in the air, heavy. Vegeta's eyes widened slightly, then narrowed with anger. Evolution? He repeated. You call abandoning your morals evolution? Goku took a step forward. Morals are limitations we create to make ourselves feel safe. Another step. I've spent my life protecting others, but in doing so, I've held myself back. Vegeta clenched his fists. And now you think throwing everything away makes you stronger? Goku stopped. I don't think, he said quietly. A pause. I know. The air between them shifted instantly. Tension, pressure, power. Both Saiyans stared at each other. For the first time in a long time, there was no friendly rivalry. No laughter. No respect. Only conflict. Only opposition. And then, they moved. The collision was instantaneous. Goku's attack came without warning. Fast, precise, and overwhelming. Vegeta barely managed to block it, his arms shaking under the impact. You're holding back, Goku said calmly. Vegeta gritted his teeth. I'm testing you. Goku didn't respond. Instead, he increased the pressure. Vegeta was pushed back, sliding across the ground as cracks spread beneath his feet. This is your limit, Goku continued. You're still relying on your pride, your emotions, your ego. Vegeta's eyes burned with fury. Shut up! With a sudden surge of energy, Vegeta broke through the pressure and launched forward, his fist aiming straight for Goku's face. But Goku moved first. A single strike, clean, perfect. Vegeta froze mid-motion. The impact hit him like a shockwave, sending him crashing into the ground with devastating force. Dust exploded into the air. Silence followed. Goku stood where he was, unmoving, unshaken, unchanged. Slowly, he looked down at his hand again. Still not enough. High above, far beyond Earth, something was watching. And now it had confirmed what it came for. A warrior like this, a scion who had abandoned limits, was no longer just a threat to a planet. He was a threat to everything. The ground was still settling from the impact. Dust hung in the air like a heavy curtain, slowly drifting downward as the silence stretched on. Vegeta lay in the crater unmoving for a moment, until his fingers twitched. Then his arm, then his entire body. With a low growl, Vegeta forced himself to stand. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. His armor was cracked. His pride, dented but not broken. That's it? Vegeta muttered, wiping the blood away. You call that a fight, Kakarot? Goku stood a few meters away, calm as ever. I call it the beginning. Vegeta's eyes sharpened. Then you're going to regret this. The air around Vegeta ignited. His aura exploded, outward with raw intensity. Blue energy roaring to life as he pushed himself beyond his limits. The ground beneath him shattered from the pressure alone. Goku watched, closely, analyzing, observing. There was no surprise in his expression, only interest. Good, Goku said softly. Show me more. Vegeta didn't hesitate. He launched forward at full speed, faster than before, his fist crackling with energy as he aimed directly for Goku's chest. This time, Goku didn't move. The punch landed. A shockwave exploded outward, ripping through the ground and sending debris flying in every direction. For a split second, it seemed like Goku had taken the hit. But then, Vegeta's eyes widened. What? Goku's hand was already wrapped around his wrist. He hadn't blocked. He hadn't dodged. He had allowed it. Too slow, Goku said calmly. Vegeta reacted instantly, trying to break free. But Goku tightened his grip slightly, and that small movement was enough. Vegeta's arm gave a sharp crack as Goku twisted it with precision. Vegeta gritted his teeth in pain, barely managing to pull back. But Goku didn't stop. He stepped forward and attacked. What followed was something neither of them had experienced before. Not a battle, a demonstration. Goku moved with terrifying efficiency. Every strike was precise, calculated, and devastating. No wasted movement. No hesitation. No emotion interfering with his actions. Vegeta fought back desperately, but it felt like trying to stop a storm with his bare hands. Each time he attacked, Goku countered. Each time he defended, Goku adapted. Faster, sharper, stronger. It wasn't just power anymore. It was control, and that was what made it terrifying. Meanwhile, far above the chaos, a presence arrived. Invisible. Unnoticed, watching everything unfold with quiet interest. A figure known across the universe as one of the strongest warriors, the one who stood above most mortals in power and grace, Beerus, the god of destruction. His eyes narrowed slightly as he observed the battle below. Interesting. Beside him floated his attendant, Whis, calm as always. Lord Beerus, Whis said gently. This is quite unusual behavior for Mr. Son Goku. Beerus didn't respond immediately. His gaze remained fixed on Goku. Now this isn't just unusual, Beerus said slowly. This is dangerous. Whis tilted his head slightly. Dangerous? Beerus crossed his arms. That Saiyan, he muttered. He's changing. Back on Earth. The battle reached a breaking point. Vegeta was breathing heavily now. His movements were slower, his energy draining. Goku stood in front of him, completely unaffected. Not a single scratch. Not a sign of strain. You're finished, Goku said. Vegeta wiped his mouth again, forcing a smirk despite everything. You talk too much. For someone who's about to get his face smashed in. Goku tilted his head slightly. Then, he attacked again. But this time, something changed. Goku's speed increased dramatically. Not just faster, but overwhelming. Vegeta barely managed to react before he was struck again and again, each hit landing with precise, crushing force. This wasn't a fight anymore. It was punishment. And then, Goku stopped. He stood still, watching, analyzing, and Vegeta dropped to one knee. Not defeated, but close. Too close. This is disappointing, Goku said quietly. Vegeta looked up, breathing heavily. Shut up! Goku stared at him for a moment longer. Then, for the first time in this fight, he powered up. The atmosphere changed instantly. The sky darkened. The ground trembled. The air itself seemed to collapse, inward as Goku's energy surged far beyond what he had shown before. This wasn't just power. This was something else. Something deeper. Something unstable. Vegeta's eyes widened slightly. So you were still holding back? Goku didn't answer. His aura flared violently. I want to see, Goku said quietly, his voice echoing with power. How far this can go. Vegeta's expression hardened. You're insane. Goku smiled. A small smile. But it carried weight. Maybe. And then the energy exploded. The blast didn't just shake the battlefield. It shook the planet. Cities far away trembled. People screamed. The sky itself cracked with energy. And in that moment, Earth realized something terrifying. Its greatest protector had become its greatest threat. And somewhere beyond Earth's atmosphere, something ancient stirred in response. Because this kind of power was never meant to stay unnoticed. The shockwave from Goku's power rippled across the planet like a living force. Mountains trembled. Oceans churned. The sky itself seemed to groan under the pressure of something far beyond human understanding. And at the center of it all, Goku stood, his aura burning with a violent intensity that didn't feel natural anymore. Vegeta struggled to remain upright, his body shaking under the weight of that energy. For the first time in a long time, he hesitated, not out of fear of losing, but because he realized something far more dangerous. Goku wasn't just fighting anymore. He was transforming. Kakarot, Vegeta muttered, his voice strained. What the hell have you become? Goku's eyes were different now. Colder, sharper. There was no anger in them. No rage, just focus. Something better, Goku replied. The answer was calm, too calm. Vegeta clenched his fists. No, he said firmly. You're something worse. High above, the atmosphere shifted. A sudden distortion in space appeared, silent, precise, and overwhelming. And through it, stepped a being whose presence alone caused reality to tremble. Zeno, the ruler of everything, the one who could erase entire universes with a thought. Beside him stood his attendants, observing quietly. Zeno tilted his head, watching the chaos below. That one is scary, he said softly. The atmosphere around them remained calm, but the implications were anything but. Even someone like Zeno was paying attention. Back on Earth, Goku suddenly stopped moving. His eyes shifted upward, not with surprise, but with awareness. So you've noticed? Vegeta frowned, following his gaze. What are you talking about? Then he felt it. A presence. Not from this world, not even from this universe. Something far above them. Vegeta's eyes widened slightly. This energy. Goku's expression remained unchanged. It's time. Without warning, Goku vanished. Not a blur. Not a flash. Just gone. Vegeta's instincts kicked in instantly. He moved. But too late. A massive explosion erupted from the sky as Goku reappeared above, launching a devastating attack downward with overwhelming force. Vegeta raised his arms just in time to block, but the impact sent him crashing into the ground, carving a massive crater beneath him. The entire battlefield was swallowed by dust and destruction. And then, a voice spoke. Calm, authoritative, and here I thought I'd seen everything. From the sky descended Whis, floating gracefully, his expression as calm as ever. Behind him, Beerus followed, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. This is getting annoying, Beerus muttered. Goku turned his head slightly. He looked at them, and smiled. Not out of joy, but recognition. So Goku said quietly, You're the ones watching. Beerus raised an eyebrow. And you're the Saiyan causing all this trouble. The air shifted again. Tension, pressure, power. Goku took a step forward. You're strong, he said. I can feel it. Beerus smirked slightly. And you're reckless. Goku's aura flickered. Not in instability, but in response. I'm evolving. Beerus's expression darkened slightly. Evolving? He repeated. Goku nodded. I've spent my life fighting within limits now, he said, his energy rising again. I'm breaking them. For a moment, silence. Even Beerus was watching closely now. Then, Goku moved. It happened instantly. Goku launched forward at a speed that even the gods could feel. Beerus reacted just as fast. Their fists collided midair. The impact sent a shockwave across the sky so powerful that clouds were torn apart instantly. For the first time in this story, Goku was fighting someone who didn't flinch, someone who matched him. Beerus' eyes narrowed. Not bad. Goku smirked. Finally. And then they clashed again. This fight was different. Not like before. Not like Vegeta. This was on a completely different level. Every strike shook the heavens. Every clash echoed across dimensions. And for a brief moment, Goku felt it. The thrill. The challenge. The feeling of standing against someone who didn't hold back. Who didn't hesitate. Who wasn't afraid of him. But then, Beerus spoke. You're strong, he said calmly. But you're still holding on to something. Goku paused for a split second. What? Beerus' eyes sharpened. You're not fully gone yet. That statement hit harder than any attack. Goku's expression shifted slightly. And for the first time since this began, something flickered behind his eyes. Something buried deep. But before anything could happen, Beerus attacked again. And this time, he was serious. The battlefield changed instantly. The balance of power shifted. And Earth found itself caught between two forces. Far beyond anything it had ever seen, the sky itself felt like it was tearing apart. Goku and Beerus clashed again and again, each impact sending shockwaves rippling across dimensions. Light bent. Space trembled. The air cracked under the weight of their battle. And yet, Goku was smiling. Not wildly, not chaotically, but with a calm, focused intensity, as if he had finally found something worth pushing against. Beerus noticed it. Or you're enjoying this, Beerus said, blocking another strike. Goku didn't deny it. I've been waiting for this, Goku replied. Someone who doesn't hold back. Someone who doesn't treat me like I'm something fragile. Beerus narrowed his eyes. You think that makes you stronger? Goku's aura flared violently. I know it does. Below them, Vegeta struggled to rise from the crater, his body battered, his pride wounded, but his will still burning. Damn it, he muttered, wiping blood from his face. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not like this. Kakarot wasn't supposed to reach this level. Not like this. Vegeta looked up at the battle in the sky. If he keeps going... He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. In the distance, Piccolo stood silently watching. His expression was grave. This is no longer just a fight, he said quietly. Something deeper was unfolding. Something dangerous. Back in the sky. Beerus finally stopped holding back. A sudden shift in pressure hit Goku like a wall. Goku's eyes widened slightly. Hey, there it is. Beerus raised his hand. And here I thought you were just another Saiyan looking for a challenge. A faint glow surrounded Beerus's fingers. Let me show you what real power looks like. What followed was beyond anything Earth had ever witnessed. Beerus moved. Not fast. Not slow. Just inevitable. Goku reacted instantly, but even then, he was pushed back. Not overwhelmed, but clearly challenged. For the first time since this began, Goku had to adapt. Quickly. Their battle shifted. Goku adjusted his movements. Each attack became more precise. Each defense more calculated. He was learning, improving, evolving in real time. Beerus noticed. It was interesting, he said. Goku's eyes sharpened. You're testing me. Beerus smirked slightly. Of course. You wanted this. Goku didn't hesitate. I did. And then, everything changed. Goku stopped, mid-fight, completely. Beerus paused, his attack halting just short of impact. What are you doing? Beerus asked. Goku stood still. His expression, different. No longer purely focused. No longer purely driven by power. Something else was surfacing. Something buried. Something human. I remember, Goku said quietly. Beerus narrowed his eyes. Remember what? Goku looked down at his hands. Why I fought. Silence. Even Beerus didn't interrupt. Goku's voice softened slightly. I fought to protect people. His aura flickered. But somewhere along the way, a pause. I stopped caring about that. Vegeta's eyes widened slightly below. A Kakarot? Goku clenched his fists. I started chasing power. His voice grew heavier. Not to protect, but to become stronger than everyone. The sky grew quiet. Even the wind seemed to listen. Goku looked up again, at Beerus, and that's what made me dangerous. Beerus studied him carefully. For the first time, Goku wasn't just a threat. He was aware of himself, fully, and that made him even more dangerous. Goku took a deep breath, then smiled. Not the cold smile from before, but something closer to his old self. But I'm not done yet. And then, he moved again, but this time, it was different. His movements carried something new. Not just power, not just control, but intent, purpose. Beerus's eyes widened slightly. Now this is interesting. Their clash resumed. But now, Goku wasn't just fighting. He was trying to become something more, and deep below. Earth held its breath, because the battle between a god and a rogue Saiyan was far from over. The sky had changed, not just from the battle, but from what the battle had become. Every clash between Goku and Beerus sent ripples through reality itself. Space bent, cracked, and stitched itself back together in violent bursts. The air felt heavier with each passing second, as if the universe itself was struggling to contain the power being unleashed. But something was different now. Goku wasn't just fighting to win. He was fighting to understand. Goku hovered in the air, his breathing steady but controlled. His eyes were locked onto Beerus, studying every movement, every shift in energy. Beerus smirked faintly. You're getting serious now. Goku nodded slightly. I had to. A pause. Then, Goku's aura shifted. Not violently, not chaotically, but in a controlled, steady expansion. It was different from before. Smoother, calmer, yet far more dangerous. Below, Vegeta slowly pushed himself up again. His body screamed in protest, but he refused to stay down. Oh, this bastard, Vegeta muttered. He's actually adapting. Piccolo landed beside him. This is no longer just instinct, Piccolo said quietly. He's learning in real time. Vegeta clenched his fists. Yeah. His eyes narrowed. And if we don't stop him... He didn't finish the sentence. But this time the meaning was clear. Back in the sky. Beerus raised an eyebrow. You've changed again. Goku looked at him calmly. I had to. Beerus crossed his arms. You're still holding something back. Goku didn't deny it. Instead, he asked, what happens if I let go completely? The question lingered in the air. Heavy, serious. Even Beerus didn't respond immediately. Then you'd become something even I wouldn't want to deal with. That answer, it made Goku smile. And then, Goku's expression shifted. Something inside him snapped into place. Not rage, not anger, but acceptance. I see it now. Goku's voice was quiet. This power isn't about destroying. Beerus narrowed his eyes slightly. Oh? Goku looked at his hands. It's about control. A beat of silence. Then, Goku's aura exploded outward. But this time, it didn't feel chaotic. It felt complete. Beerus's eyes widened slightly. You've reached a new state. Goku looked up. Maybe. What followed was unlike anything before. Goku moved. Not faster, but more efficiently. Every movement was intentional. Every strike calculated. He wasn't just reacting anymore. He was anticipating. Beerus began to realize it. You're not just adapting. His expression sharpened. You're predicting. The battle intensified. Faster, sharper, more precise. Each clash echoed across the heavens. And for the first time, Beerus felt something he rarely felt. Pressure. Below, the ground trembled violently. Entire regions were being affected by the battle above. People screamed. Buildings shook. The world itself was on the brink. And in that moment, a realization began to spread. This wasn't just a fight anymore. This was a turning point. Goku suddenly stopped again, mid-battle. Beerus halted as well, watching carefully. What now? Beerus asked. Goku stood still. His aura calm, controlled, balanced. I understand now, Goku said. Beerus narrowed his eyes. Understand what? Goku looked directly at him. This isn't enough. That answer caught even Beerus off guard. You're still not satisfied? Goku shook his head slowly. No. A pause. Because I haven't reached the limit. Beerus smirked slightly. Then let me help you find it. And then, the true clash began. Not just power, not just speed, but everything. For the first time, Goku and Beerus were fighting at full intensity, no holding back, no restraint. And somewhere deep within that chaos, Goku began to feel something new. A presence, a force, something inside him responding, growing. His body trembled slightly, not from weakness, but from evolution. There it is, Goku whispered. Beerus noticed immediately. What did you just do? Goku's eyes sharpened. I crossed it. And in that moment, the battlefield changed again. Goku had reached something new, something beyond what he had before. But with that power came a cost. And for the first time, Goku began to realize this path had no clear end. The battlefield fell into an uneasy stillness. Not silence, because the energy still crackled, the sky still trembled, and reality itself still bent under the pressure of what had just unfolded. But something had shifted. Goku stood at the center of it all. Different. Not outwardly, but something deeper had changed. Beerus watched him closely now, his usual calm expression replaced with something sharper. So this is it, Beerus said quietly. The point where a mortal starts to step beyond his limits. Goku looked at him. Not with arrogance, not with rage, but with clarity. I thought reaching this would feel different, Goku admitted. Beerus raised an eyebrow. Ain't Dan? Goku exhaled slowly. Oh, it doesn't. Below them, Vegeta clenched his fist tightly. What does that mean? He muttered. Piccolo stood beside him, silent for a moment. Then he spoke. It means he's still not satisfied. Vegeta's eyes widened slightly. Not even now? Piccolo nodded. Yes, that's the problem. Goku closed his eyes for a moment, and for the first time since everything began, he listened. Not to the fight, not to the power, but to something inside himself. The part that had been buried under all the growth, all the evolution, all the ambition. And what he heard was quiet, faint, but undeniable. I remember now. Goku opened his eyes, and something in them had changed. Not power, not strength, but direction. Beerus narrowed his eyes slightly. What are you thinking? Goku looked at him. I went too far. The words were simple, but heavy. For a moment, even Beerus didn't respond. Goku lowered his hand slowly. The overwhelming energy around him began to settle. Not disappear, but stabilize. I lost sight of why I fight, Goku continued. Not just for power, but for something else. He paused. For the people I care about. Vegeta froze slightly. The Kakarot. Goku's expression softened, and I almost destroyed that. A quiet moment passed. Then, Goku looked directly at Beerus. I won't keep going down that path. Beerus studied him carefully. You're giving up this power. Goku shook his head. No. A pause. I'm learning to control it. And that was the difference. Goku had not fallen. He had not been corrupted. But he had come dangerously close. Beerus smirked faintly. Interesting. He crossed his arms. You came all this way just to stop yourself. Goku gave a small, calm smile. Sometimes that's the hardest fight. And then, Beerus laughed. A low, amused sound. You Saiyans really are something else. The tension began to fade. Not completely, but enough. The sky slowly began to return to normal. The cracks in reality healed. The pressure lifted. Earth was saved. But not without change. Goku descended slowly back to the ground. Vegeta and Piccolo approached him cautiously. Vegeta crossed his arms. You nearly wiped us all out. Goku nodded. I know. Vegeta stared at him for a long moment. Then, don't do it again. Goku looked at him, and for the first time since this began, he smiled. Not cold, not distant, but familiar. I won't. And with that, the crisis ended. But something remained, something quiet, something powerful. Goku had tasted what it meant to go beyond limits, and while he chose not to continue down that path, the possibility still existed. Somewhere, deep within him. That power remained, waiting, and the universe knew it. Because sometimes, the most dangerous warriors are not the ones who lose control, but the ones who learn how to control it. The end.